Hey there, in this video we are going to discuss connecting Google Analytics 4 to your Google Ads account. So the very first thing that we are going to do is create our Google Analytics account. So if you don't have one, just Google Analytics and then sign up. Once you're signed up, you are going to have the ability to go into an admin area, which is what we're seeing here. So just to kind of like talk about what the steps that we're going to go through, we're going to create a Google Analytics account. We're going to get an ID for that analytics account. We are then going to pop into Google Tag Manager. So this is kind of a best practice setup using Google Tag Manager. If you don't have Google Tag Manager, you'll want to check out another video on how to set that up first. So the link will be in the description on this video. So please pause this and go check that one out if you don't have Google Tag Manager running. And then we are going to, once we have it set up through Google Tag Manager, and we then go into Google Ads, and then import the Google Analytics, or actually connect up with Google Analytics itself to create that connectivity. And then later on in a separate video, we're going to talk about importing conversions as well. Okay, and there will be a link to that as well. So let's get started on the Google Analytics side. So this will be your first step. So again, go into Google Analytics and sign up for an account, and then you're going to have this admin area. And you can, let me just move my face out of the way here. So you can see there's a little gear icon in the lower left hand corner, and this is where you're going to go into and create an actual account. Okay, so it's probably going to look different for yours actually. So if you're doing this from scratch, you'll be led through this process. So this is an established account, so that's why I have that option. If you ever wanted to create an additional account, you can do that through here as well. So it should look familiar if you're starting from scratch. Okay, so I'm going to go in, account setup. New account name, I'm just going to say Brand Rocket 2. Okay, so this is, my company's name is Brand Rocket, so I'm just going to say 2 because we're creating a test account. I'm going to leave everything else the way it is. I'm just going to say next. Property name. So again, the hierarchy of Google Analytics, we have, account name, account, and then we have properties, right? So we can have multiple properties under one account. So I will here, at this point, I will say Brand Rocket to property. All right. And then I'm going to say next. And you don't need to fill out any of this stuff, but I'll just select a few things. And then we go create terms of service. So accept the terms, I accept, and start collecting data. Okay, so this is, we're going to say choose a platform. So depending on what applies to you, most likely it's web. And then we are going to create a stream. So I'm going to type in my website, www.brandrocket.net. And I'm going to say Brand Rocket 2 for my stream name. We're just going to leave that the way it is, and then we're going to create a stream, create a data stream, and at this point, we're going to get a measurement ID. Okay, so let me just back out of this. So this measurement ID is what we need to plug into the Google Tag Manager. All right, so again, if you haven't set up the Google Tag Manager, you'll want to do that first. And the link to that video is in the description, so be sure to check that out. I'm going to bounce over to the GTM, Google Tag Manager, and we're going to go through the process. So I'm going to pretend like you have your Google Tag Manager set up. Okay, so we're going to create a new tag here. And we are going to say, we're going to look for Google Analytics GA4 configuration, and the measurement ID that we just copied will get plugged in here. So there we go. And then the trigger, we want this to happen on all pages of the website, and then make sure you name your tag. Okay, so I'm going to say GA4 test. All right, because I'm going to delete this out afterwards. I'm going to save that. And now what I want to do is I want to make sure that it's actually firing that. Now GA4 takes a while. Like you'll be able to once we're once we confirm that it's actually firing, you might not see the data in your account for a while. It typically takes I found that like 5 to 10 minutes. We'll go through that where you should be able to see like real-time data on your website after you give it, I would say like 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, so let's go into preview mode. So in the Google Tag Manager, we're going to see if what we just submitted actually works. So we're going to go into preview mode. All right, so website is already there, brandrocket.net. I'm going to connect in preview mode. Okay, so here we are. So as I go through, you can see up here in the URL it says GTM debug. So we're in this debug preview mode, and as I bounce from page to page, it should start firing what we just set up. Okay, so it says connected, and I say okay, continue. Now I have a whole bunch of tags firing here, but you can see right away, GA4 test. Okay, so it's firing on each page, and as I go into different sections of the website, let me go into the section that we have for Google Ads. I should see again on this particular page, it's firing, right? So there it is again. So I know it's working, right? So now I can go into Google Analytics. I can go back over here and I can take a look at this and say, okay, can I actually see data? I'm going to go into reports and real time, and hopefully we'll be able to see something. Again, it does take some time. Boom, there I am. So I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. There I am. Okay, so I know that it's working. All right, so that's what it takes to get this thing going. Now you've created Google Analytics. You configured it through the Google Tag Manager. It's firing on every single page of your website. Okay, so now that Google Analytics 4 is connected to your website and we can actually see yourself on your website through the real-time reporting, it's time to connect up analytics directly into Google Ads. Now, one thing I didn't mention earlier is that make sure that whatever email address you're using for Google Ads, make sure you use the same email address for analytics. They tie in together. So if you're logged into one platform through a different email address, you're not going to be, a lot of times you won't be able to make the connection. So make sure that you're using a common email. Maybe it's your own email anyway, so it's not even a big deal. Okay, but that's just something that will make your life a lot easier. So make sure you're using the same exact email. If you got one, if you signed up with Google Ads previously, make sure you're using that email when you create your analytics account, and make sure you actually use the same email for a Google Tag Manager. It just makes life a lot easier. All right, so we're going to go into analytics now that we know that it's connected, and what we're going to do is we're going to go down to this section here. I'm an admin, by the way, so again, let me just scoot this out of the way. So you can see the gear down here, right? This will take you into your admin section, and once that loads up, what you want to do in the middle here, make sure you have the correct property. So we set up for this test, I set up Brand Rocket 2. Scroll down and you'll see this product links section and Google Ads links. Okay, so go ahead and click on that, and I'm going to say link with the blue button. Choose Google Ads accounts. Now I got a whole bunch, so a lot of this is going to be blurred out, but you'll probably just have one, so it's going to be a lot easier, right? So just choose your Google Ads account. I'm looking for, and my account is set up under Brand Rocket. Okay, so this is the account number. I'm going to confirm that, and I'm going to say next. Enable personalized advertising, so you want that checked. Auto tagging, you want that checked as well. Pretty much everything checked, and then we say next, and then submit. Okay. So now that gets submitted, link has been created. Now we're going to pop over onto the Google Ads side. So I'm going to log into the Google Ads platform. Once you're in Google Ads, what you want to do is go up to Tools and Settings. And under Tools and Settings, you'll select Linked Accounts. And under Linked Accounts, you'll have various options here. Now, I've already linked this account, so I'm just doing something for a test here. I'm gonna relink, and then I'm gonna delete this new link. But you probably will not have this up here. Okay, so what you want to do is maybe search it, or Google will probably have it listed somewhere at the top, because this is a common linking between ads and Google Analytics. but we're going to say GA4, Google Analytics GA4 and Firebase Manage and link. And so because we created that linkage between analytics earlier, the link should show up here. And if it doesn't, then just wait a while, because it will at some point, okay? So in this particular case, it's not showing up yet. We literally just set it up. But what you want to do is look for whatever you set up here in the list. And again, I have a ton of them because I manage a lot of different accounts. But yours should be right at the top, and you will simply, it's probably going to be linked already. But this is a place, if you ever needed to unlink the two, you can unlink it here. One step that a lot of people forget is that it will show up as deactivated in the default state. So you want to activate the connection between analytics and Google Ads. So this will be, instead of deactivate, this should say activate. So go ahead and press on that once you see your connectivity showing up here from GA4. Make sure you click on activate, otherwise you won't be able to see a lot of the data that actually streams over from GA4 into Google Ads, okay? Okay, so I waited a couple minutes and now I'm seeing the linkage that we created. So you can see here I have a brand new property, Brand Rocket 2 property, Google Analytics 4, and like I said earlier, it will come, it's not going to be activated automatically. So you can see there's a link here to activate that. So make sure you do that important step, okay? So that's it. Connecting Google Analytics 4 to your website, and then also making that linkage over into Google Ads. And in other videos, we're going to talk about building audiences and creating conversions and things like that. But for this is just about, connecting all the different points of within the Google ecosystem, right? So just to recap what we did, we created a brand new Google Analytics 4 account from scratch. We took that data stream ID, and we then went over into Google Tag Manager and created a tag in Google Tag Manager for that data stream ID, and set it so that the trigger would fire on every single page of the website, okay? We then went back over into Google Analytics 4 and we went into the real-time reports to see if we could actually see ourselves, if it was measuring properly, and sure enough, we were able to see Phoenix, Arizona, there we were, okay? So now, once we knew that it was connected and it was everything was being reported correctly, then we wanted to connect GA4 to Google Ads. So we went into that section within admin and made the connection on the product linkage between that analytics account and this very specific Google Ads account. And again, can't stress this enough, use the same email, otherwise you won't be able to see anything underneath. It's looking for that common linkage via email address, okay? Once we selected that, we went over into Google Ads to confirm that it would show up. It didn't show up right away. It probably took about 10 minutes, I would say, in total before it showed up in Google Ads. And then once it showed up, we had to actually activate the apps and web metrics, okay? So it's just because you're sending it over from GA4 doesn't mean it's already completed. The linkage is not completed until you activate it, okay? And that's it. So hopefully that's helpful. If you found value in this, please subscribe to the channel, and let us know if you have any questions. All right, thank you.